I had a question come across my Instagram account from a student saying he can't really afford to eat well, so have I got any advice for students? Reminds me of my student days where I first really got into gym training. I knew I was going to join the Marine straight after uni, and I was going through my Marine application, so I was going to the gym a lot. And I must admit, looking back, my diet now, what I know now, was pretty bad. Probably cornflakes and Nutrigrain bars with cheese sandwiches at lunch and everything cheap, buying tubs of cream and ice cream to get the calories in, that sort of thing. I think a simple way to do it would be, if I give you an example of a day if I was a student these days, there's things that are really cheap, and things like oats. And if you want to just get your fats, carbs and proteins in, and you can use a website like If It Fits Your Macros to work out what your macros are. First thing in the morning, porridge with a scoop of whey, and you've probably got whey protein supplements if you're training in the gym anyway, and that's a good way of getting protein in. Don't replace food, but it's a good way of getting it in, and it's not possibly as expensive as multiple chicken breasts or buying fresh fish and that sort of thing. So get yourself a big bag of oats, and I often have oats first thing in the morning and last thing at night when I'm trying to hit my carbs, and I put casein protein in last thing at night and whey protein in first thing in the morning. So that's 2 meals. Mid-morning snacks, a protein bar's fine, but you know, second breakfast, as I like to call it, eggs. Eggs aren't expensive. Personally, I'd rather have free range, but you don't have to if you're on a budget. 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 eggs. Slice of toast. People say not to have bread. You only need to remove bread if you've got gluten problems, or you've got allergy problems to certain foods. So put the bread in there with some eggs, and that's a good mid-morning meal. Lunchtime, and I've said this in other videos, sweet potatoes or rice, they're not expensive. Microwave the sweet potatoes, boil up the rice and you can batch cook that. And then tins of fish from your supermarket aren't expensive. Tin of mackerel, tin of sardines, tin of tuna, really simple way of doing it. And add that to some spinach leaves or some broccoli and some cauliflower. There was a time, I think about 18 months ago, where broccoli went through the roof. Obviously the farmers were charging a bit more, or there wasn't a good batch or whatever. At the moment I think you can pick up a sprig of broccoli from a supermarket for about 50p, maybe up to 80p. It's not that expensive, and if you shop in bulk or even buy the frozen spinach, frozen broccoli, it's not very expensive. Mid-afternoon snack, protein bar, protein shake if you're then going to the gym, or a sandwich isn't necessarily bad thing if you need those carbs. If you're trying to put on some size, if you're trying to cut carbs, you're trying to lose some weight, lose some fat, maybe not such a good idea. Handful of nuts is a good way of doing it. Again, look at your macros. Top tip, use MyFitnessPal. Download MyFitnessPal onto your smartphone. You can put in there either your own macros, or you can put in there your weight and your age and that sort of thing, and it'll work it out for you. And then evening meal, much like your lunch meal. You want to have protein, carbs, and vegetables. It doesn't have to be expensive. Rice, sweet potatoes, bread, and then fish. This is my last tip, my top tip. Work out when your supermarket, your local supermarket, does its reduced items. Go there and buy up all the meat, put it in a freezer, and therefore you've got it cheap, and you can slowly go through that, always looking for the deals. Okay? That's it.